Hey everybody, and welcome back to another horror film lovers reviews. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with
John Ward.
John Ward, and I are here to talk about Blumhouse's The Hunt.
The Hunt.
Yes, so show that off to everybody because I don't have that. I kind of want to get that at some point. Does it have any special features?
It only has some behind the scenes stuff, but it's made for the Blu-ray, so you're not really getting anything. It's crafting the hunt, death scene breakdown, Athena versus Crystal, Hunter or Hunted, and that's it. There's no audio commentary or anything on this.
That's kind of a
So
bummer. I would have
yeah,
loved to hear commentary by at
it
least,
does have DVD and Blu-ray.
nice.
So
You don't really
and
see that as much.
it's I got this just because I like the most dangerous game. So I like movies like that. And
Yeah,
I
I've never
decided
actually
to
seen
give
the
this
original Most Dangerous Game. I think there was like 1940s or something, I want to say.
yeah, with Fay Ray. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never seen that.
And it's really good. And um
Oh.
I mean, of course, there's it. Even B movies, Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity, are all very much like that. And I saw The Hunt, heard about all the stuff, all the controversy with it, and I saw it, and I really hated it. And my reason for hating it is that I think the filmmakers lied. I think when they're going, oh no, it's equal on both sides. We make fun of it on both sides. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's the Democrats or liberals in this case are a lot more snowflakey and wimpy and whiny than the Trump supporting conservatives are. For the most part, especially our lead, you know, they're they're not as bad as the liberals are. So
Right.
I think this is my third time watching it because then I gave it a second view and it was like I'm still getting those feelings. And then I watched it again for today, and I still have those feelings. I think that they're liars. I think that the filmmakers are liars. Pick a side. You know, the Purge. The Purge picks a side. It's very to the left, and that may be why I like it. Is that it's very left, and
Right.
but not like woke left type of thing.
Right.
It's
It's not
just
far left, but it's left.
yeah. It just takes more of a left
So you say
handed
like
side
the problem with the movie, in your opinion, is that it's both sides in a way, right? Is that what you're
the
saying?
hunt.
Yeah.
No, it's not both sides. It's
Okay.
conservative.
Well, then I
Yeah,
thought you said it's then they then they did pick a side.
I said that.
Right, but you said pick a side, and they did. And they picked
Right,
I
no, no,
guess
no,
the
no, no, no. What I'm saying is they went and said, "Oh, it makes fun of both sides."
oh, right.
So my message to them is pick a side
And you
because it's
actually
more
think they actually
conservative.
did.
Yeah, it's more conservative. So don't lie to people and say that it's neutral when it isn't.
I mean, I get it. I it's funny because hearing from Jason Blum in an interview, he said that there was one writer, there's two writers who wrote it. One was the creator of fucking Lost, right? And then there was this other guy, and one of them, I don't know which one, was more conservative leaning, and one is more liberal leaning, and they both wrote it, and maybe I mean, I don't know, maybe they both kind of agreed in a way to sort of to make it more where the liberals were, you know, yes, they were whiny, they had issues. But anyway, before we get into all that, let's talk about the story a little bit or whatnot and stuff. But uh basically, I mean, you're right, it's the most dangerous game. It's the idea of these conservative people who get kidnapped and taken to a well, I guess a regular like a woods in the woods, right? And they are sort of set free to be hunted. They're allowed weapons and stuff, and they are now allowed, are to be hunted and killed. And it was basically this like I want to say conspiracy theory slash like urban legend kind of thing of this manor. It got called Manor Gate, you know?
No, it was like a QAnon conspiracy thing where
Yeah,
where
but they
where it was
called it Manor
originally.
Gate.
Yeah, well, they call everything gate.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it was a joke that liberals were doing on like IM, and then it got leaked, and then it got out there through QAnon or those conservative websites that talk about all this type of stuff, and then eventually it was made true.
In the movie, yes. Right.
Yeah.
Not obviously. You mentioned things like
Well,
QAnon, which is not actually, I don't think was actually mentioned in the movie. So let's just like mention
well,
that.
there's a lot of stuff that's not mentioned. Like conservative and liberal are never brought up.
Right. They say
But you
redneck, they say deplorable, they say all
yeah,
these other things that,
which
I
is
actually
another
love that
thing.
scene, by the way. I do love that scene where she's like, deplorable, well, what should I have said? Redneck, racist, all these other, and the guy's like, it just keeps sounding worse and worse when she says it. Like, it's kind of funny. I don't know. I'm,
Well, and the stuff that happens with Hillary Swank's character is something that happens all the time because they liberals to the left, to the left, to the left will eat their own, and it doesn't matter where conservatives to the right, to the right, to the right will defend their own, and it doesn't matter what they do, but the left will try to destroy you. And
mm,
that's pretty much what happened to her, is by making these jokes, and then the leak gets out, she and
mhm.
everybody got fired. And even though it did seem pretty tame. And
Yeah, I mean, I guess business is business, and it's sort of like how, when you look at companies like Disney, if somebody says a tweet that they think might hurt their status, they give them warnings for a little bit, but then eventually they fire them over it, because they just don't want it breaking, like destroying their brand, you know.
well, it definitely, it depends on what side you're on, because you could look at something like The Mandalorian, and even though I don't agree with Gina Carano, she does have the right to have her opinion. And but yet what's his face, Pascal, can go on to Facebook and Twitter and say whatever he wants, and it's perfectly acceptable and it's perfectly fine.
Well, maybe he got punished because I believe that the third season was barely about him. So maybe he got a little punished for that. I don't know.
No, that had a lot to do with stuff being canceled. Is things that got basically all this stuff with Gina Carano, because she was supposed to have her own show, and then there were supposed to be spinoffs. All those scripts went to The Mandalorian.
Oh,
So
okay.
and also Kathleen Kennedy took over. That's what John Favreau
We're not
left.
supposed to talk about her
So
because she will.
oh, I'll talk about her. She should be kicked out of Hollywood, starting with Iger, and then there's the pyramid, and Iger should be kicked out, and what's his face at Marvel should be kicked out, and
No, stop that crap. I
now
want him
and
to
now
stay.
Kathleen Kennedy should be
Anyway,
kicked out.
moving
So,
on. Like, I don't, yeah. So
but what we're talking about right now in the hunt would be canceled, and we would lose our jobs with that type of thing.
what do you mean?
Like you're Well, if we were in the movie The Hunt and we're discussing what we're discussing right now, we would probably be fired from wherever we were at,
I
because
don't
that's the
think, well, not for
mentality.
not in the movie The Hunt. No, well, in the movie, right? Or not actually when you were just if we're acting in the movie. Is that what you're saying? I'm so
No, I'm
confused.
saying I'm saying if The Hunt was a real thing,
Right.
so and if we were in the movie The Hunt, we would be canceled for saying what was just said,
Yeah.
because
Um,
that's how they canceled Hilary Swank's character, is
yeah,
from just like
she
a
just
stupid
posted,
joke.
yeah, she just made a stupid joke that was, I guess, screenshotted, or whatever. I don't know how it got leaked or whatever, but I guess people were fooling around with people's texts and everything, and it got out. It
Well,
got
they
out what
say
they said.
that it got hacked.
Yeah, it got hacked. And so all of a sudden, all their screenshots and all the stuff that, that they said were out there. And she didn't care what she said because she believed it, like whatever, right? And so they were joking about the hunt. There was not going to be an actual hunt. That's why I think one of the people are like, Liberty was like, I'm leaving this thread, like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble for this. Um, I guess she got fired too, even though she, tried to
Yeah,
leave
they all got fired.
uh,
All the people in that flashback got fired.
yeah. And so then later they decided to do that. And so they found all the people that were online that were in like a chat room, which do they even have chat rooms anymore? I guess it would be like Reddit, you know?
Well, it depends on what it is. One guy had a podcast, so he was like a conspiracy guy,
Yeah.
and then some of them you could see the pictures later on were just, like gun toting, like one of
There's
the
a lot
women
of
that was
people that
there.
love guns, and
Yeah, I kind of took like maybe the blonde that was there, uh, um, that she's, I think she's one of the ones that gets blown up. That she was almost kind of like a Mindy Robinson, that was incredibly right wing. It was
right.
just stuff like that. Just you saw that the Ike, what's his name, Ike. In real life, his name is Ike. I'm forgetting his last name.
Is he in that picture here? No.
No, you would know him. He's been on like a ton of TV shows, and
Let me look.
Ike with a B. I'm
Well, he
blanking
played
on his name.
Staten Island was his character name.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't know who he is.
I
He's been in
don't.
like 10,000 things.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. He was in Neighbors. He was the fucking friend in Neighbors and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
He
in a
was the
ton of
gun
stuff.
toting, or he was like, I've got 7 guns or whatever,
Yeah, and then she's like, "Why do you need 7 guns?" But if you because I paused the when she's when our lead is looking at those pictures, and he's one of the ones that was in the march with the white supremacists, and they were holding up the tiki, like the tiki, like fire lamps. That
Yeah.
he's one of them.
Okay, so he's a
So
white
they
supremacist. So
yeah, so they got him. But I have a feeling that, like, because he works with Mindy Kaling, and he
mm,
was on the Mindy Project. So
okay.
I think some of these people, like Emma Roberts, who I looked up, and they say that that even though she never talks political or religious, that she is most likely liberal, because she is a huge supporter of like gay marriage and gay rights.
Mm,
And they've come to the assumption that she is probably non-religious, not like atheist, but non-religious. So I'm thinking that Ike and her are probably left wing, and they just wanted to do this for fun. Like, oh yeah,
right.
how would you like to be like a gun-toting Republican?
Like the
Uh,
exact opposite of who you actually are.
which is great to play, because I've done the
Yeah.
same thing, and it's great to play something that you're not, because
Yeah, you
the
got to play a preacher, right?
yeah, I played a conservative dad. I've played a preacher. I've done all the stuff that I'm not. And if you look at the pictures with like Emma Roberts, she's standing with her dad in front of the Capitol. So
Oh,
I'm guessing,
nice.
oh, okay, her dad is probably a conservative, like congressman,
You think
and
Eric is? Or in the movie.
in the
It's like,
movie.
wait, I was like, you keep saying Emma, so I kept thinking like for real,
Why, I don't know her character's name, so
I forgot what it was. It was listed.
it's not an actual name. I have it right here. It's Yoga Pants is
Yoga
what her
pants.
character's name
Because
is. Yeah.
like nobody, some of them, like one of them was like hot something or whatever. Like There's Big Red, and there was Sexy something or whatever.
Yeah, one of them is Vanilla Nice.
Vanilla, yeah, I didn't like that name. Dead Sexy because she wore a shirt that said Dead Sexy on it. And that was literally the only reason why they called her that because she never had a name. But that was the chick that like fell into the um
Oh, the
the
pit
hole, the
twice.
pit twice, and then she's like, she's still alive, and her like body is torn up, and then she's like telling dude, "Give me the fucking gun, you goddamn snowflake," and shoots herself.
Which is funny is because both sides in the movie and in real life call each other snowflakes.
Yeah.
So I am to the opinion that neither side is any different. I think both sides are the same. And you know
Well,
where
because they're both to the far right or far left, right?
yeah,
Like,
because you have like conservatives that burn books they don't like, and then you have liberals that go out and censor books that
hmm
they don't like. So what's the difference?
right.
And I'm really surprised that they never did a sequel to this. You know, maybe flipping it.
Did they make any money off of this? Was this
No, I got it right here. The budget was 14 million and the box office was 12.4, but I don't know if
Oh,
it had a I don't know if it
actually
had a
on
huge release.
IMDb it says 10 million worldwide. So damn.
Yeah, I think it's because as conservatives do, they don't learn anything about what they're criticizing. So they will hear they'll see the title The Hunt. They'll go, "Oh, it's conservatives being hunted by Democrats or liberals." And then they'll go, "Oh, I hate this movie. It should be out there. It should be banned," without watching it or knowing anything about it. And that's what happened. Even Donald Trump, when he was president, that he even put out a tweet saying how awful the film is and that it should be removed
You
and
never
that the
seen it?
filmmakers are even. These people never watched the movie. We got that all the time when we played The Last Temptation of Christ. You know, when I was an usher, we would get phone calls all the time before the movie came out
I
of
remember.
Christians saying, you know, don't go see this movie. And I asked somebody, did you see it? They're like, no, but just don't go see it.
So this does have to do with the hunt in a way, but and sorry if I kind of go off, but Kevin Smith with Dogma did the same thing where people would and his hometown in Red Bank were going around, doing this stuff and it hadn't even come out yet. So nobody had seen it. So he
Yeah,
went and he freaking protested with them. And I think that's the most awesome thing ever. Like they didn't even recognize that he was in the fucking movie
because
and
they never
directed it.
saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never
they never
sound like
saw
they
it. They
didn't
had no idea
know.
who he was, and that's
Yeah.
kind of how the way that you have to deal with these things. And I think that's hilarious.
I
You know that
I
he
I
did
don't
that.
so I'm spiritual. I'm not really religious anymore. I used to sort of be religious, but I'm more spiritual. I believe in, a higher power, whatever. That's my choice, my belief and whatnot. But I would never go, "Oh my goodness, this movie." Because like when the South Park movie came out, I was still in high school, you know, and stuff, and I went over to my friend's house to watch it, and his dad came in at the same time, and then right when they start doing that Uncle Fucker song, he was like, "All right, we're turning this off." Which was funny because that's exactly what people were saying. Oh, this is crap. I'm leaving, right? And so they were kind of making fun of the people that were really there that were like, "Oh my God, this is just terrible. It's just potty mouth. How can you laugh at this?"
Which it isn't because you know Trey Parker and Matt Stone are very smart, and they
Mm-hmm.
had Book of Mormon was massive,
Yep.
and even this new episode, into the Panderverse of South Park. I think it could have gone further. I don't think they
Oh, it will.
pushed it
It will.
as much as
They've
it
got two
could.
more episodes coming.
Okay, so then we'll see what's going on. I mean,
Yep.
but I do agree with what they're saying though, and they did kind of attack both sides, which
Mm-hmm.
is fine as long as you do it in a smart way. And I don't think really the guys who made this did it in a smart way. I mean, I looked up the writer on Wikipedia. I mean, maybe on on IMDb, it lists both, but they only list this one guy who looks like David Cross. Is that Damien Lidloff?
Yeah,
Um,
Damien Lindelof, he's the guy who did Lost.
so I'm looking at his movies here and I'm like, oh, this is not good. The reboot of Star Trek.
Hmm.
Eh.
That didn't do very
Um,
well.
Cowboys and Aliens bombed.
Right.
Prometheus, a lot of people did not like, including myself. Star Trek Into Darkness, which was not good.
World War
Uh,
Z,
World War Z, which a lot of people criticized.
Tomorrowland,
Tomorrowland
which got a lot
bombed.
of, yeah, bombed.
Don't know. Oh, Bending the Arc looks like it's like a documentary film, so that
So
doesn't
he
count.
created The Leftovers. He also created The Watchmen. And so his TV is better than his movies, honestly.
So Watchmen, yeah. So Watchmen is very woke.
So he
That's the
must be the one on the, I'm gonna guess, left side. That's what I thought anyway. I thought he was more on the left side. And then the other writer, did you mention the other writer on the on your Nick
no.
Hughes?
He doesn't. You can't. It doesn't have a link.
Okay. So Nick Hughes was a staff writer for The Leftovers, was a staff, I guess, a writer for The Watchmen, and did a show called Station 11. I don't know that. But did an episode of that and whatnot. He hasn't really done much else since then. I don't know. He's wait, is that right? Yeah. So
So all these guys work together because even the director worked on like The Leftovers.
yeah, they must have
Um,
been like brought in as a team, sort of thing. I actually really like the direction. I thought some of the shots were really cool, you
I
know.
thought it was well made.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. And from you reading the other guys' filmography, it doesn't sound like either one of them are to the right. It sounds like
I
they're
know it
both.
just sound like they're both. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I heard that wrong that Jason said that, but I was pretty sure that's what he said in a interview, that he tried to get both sides on the angle. So
I
maybe I'm
did.
wrong.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I watched some reviews when the film got done, and I guess this is supposed to be taken as a political satire.
Hmm.
So which means that it's supposed to be on the same level as Doctor Strangelove, I guess, or Don't
Yeah,
Look Up.
yeah. Well, okay. So satire, I don't really agree with. I think it's got comedic parts to it. Like I really, really loved Crystal, you know. And I thought she had some really funny bits. Betty Gilpin was great in it. I thought she was funny.
I have to admit, I watched this for the first time before Glow came out,
Uh,
and I hated her. I didn't like her as an actress. I hated the character, and I kind of still do. But I like her because of Glow. But I felt that she was a. I felt that nobody grew. Like she was the exact same character as she was before.
well, I think what grew was the audience's interpretation of her, because this whole time we're thinking she's this, conservative, whatever person. And then you find out later, I mean, she was in the military, but she didn't seem like she was very conservative by the end of the movie. She was, because spoiler alert or whatever, if you've hopefully you've already seen the movie, it's on Peacock, go watch it. Um, but by the end of the movie, they sort of mention that she was, the wrong crystal, you know?
Is she?
I think so.
Or
And
did she just not want to give Hillary Swank's character the satisfaction?
there's that debate, right? They kind of leave it open where, you're pretty sure that, I mean, you're not sure which one or not. But I will go on to say, in my opinion, I think she was, because this chick was this, they never mentioned that she was in the military and all this other stuff. And then later she's talking to the guy from the National Guard, and he asked her, were you in the military? Because she was shooting people at, like she was almost was like a sharpshooter, you know. Um So it seemed like she wasn't the same chick she was that the girl was thinking she was. And I don't think this girl is a uh was conservative. I think she was a liberal, and she was just wrong person's name,
You think Crystal was a liberal?
I think so.
Oh my God, no.
I think so. I could be wrong. I mean, she's from the South,
I
so
I
who
mean
knows,
maybe
but
she's not fully conservative, but I mean because she did tell some of the others to shut up, like while they were talking.
yeah.
That
Shut
she
the fuck
like
up,
she
Gary.
yeah she doesn't want to hear it,
Yeah.
which is his name in the credits, by the way.
Yeah. Ethan Suplee,
Shut the
man.
fuck up, Gary. Um, I don't know. I mean, I mean, it's possible, but she see because that type of stuff wasn't mentioned.
Mm.
You got the wrong conservative asshole, something like that, or you know, I voted
Yeah.
for Obama, something like that. I mean, maybe that's too on the nose, but it's I don't know. I mean, it just I don't know. I think like if she walked into that fake, because they're in a different country,
Right.
so they could do this, that they bribed people to allow them to do this hunt. And I don't know. I think that if she went into the gas station and kind of figured out what was going on, she might
Mm.
want to just be like, I'm on your guy's side.
But she's not, like
But then
she's
she's
sh
then she's not liberal.
but that's not I don't think it's that easy to say, one side like that because they are, as you said before, they're the far left. She could have been just left, and stuff and be sort of like dudes, like, but even so, she's being hunted for something she didn't supposedly she didn't even do. So that's what makes it a little confusing, I guess, because you're right. Because then at the end of the day, you don't know if she is who she actually says she is or not. You don't know if she's the Crystal May that they actually picked up that says justice for y'all, which I think is
Right.
actually a funny name for somebody, justice for y'all, you know.
Right.
Um, but but she doesn't seem like that. She doesn't seem like she would be, she didn't even, I mean, she could have been faking, but she didn't seem like she even knew who this chick was, you know? Like she really literally looked like she was just like out of the blue picked, for this crap. And
Well, no, she said that there was another in her town, that there was another crystal that
right,
spelled with an E. So I think that she knew who this other crystal was,
right,
because she goes, I even got her mail.
right. What I'm
Uh,
saying is she didn't know who Athena was. When she walked up there in the house, Athena said, "Do you know who I am? Don't you know who I am?" And or something like that. And she was like, "I have no clue who you are, lady. Like you're just attacking me, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Like all she knew was she was
I
that chick on the phone on the radio.
I mean, I don't know if any of them would know who she is, because it's not like she announced it and then said, okay, now you're going to get hunted.
But
I don't think anybody would
the
know.
crystal, the justice for y'all, actually said, she's a bitch. Athena, is one of those people who murder, who's going to be murdered, whatever, right? So, like,
Oh, okay,
she
yeah,
knew
yeah.
who she actually was.
So
So
they're yeah,
she
yeah, she
probably has
yeah.
seen her picture. She knew who she was. So this chick, this crystal, whether or not she is the real crystal or not, she didn't seem to know who Athena was when she walked up. Now, once again, that could be acting. She could have been pretending not to know who she was because she wanted to tell the girl she was wrong and she got the wrong girl, and in hopes that the girl will be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'll just let you go." That wasn't gonna happen, right? But I mean, she did say, "Hey, you can call my mom up because she's still alive." Thought that was a great scene. I would have loved to hear that. That should have been a deleted scene. She actually did like a call up the mom and like, oh, never mind, you can go.
I don't think she wanted to, because they could trace the call.
Right. Yeah, that's
something
true.
like that. Or plus she may think that she's lying. It's I don't know. I think by the end, if they, I don't know. I just didn't take her as a very smart person. I didn't take it that there's ways that if she makes it to the house, let's say she kills other people, she makes it to the
Are you,
manor.
you didn't take her as a smart person? You know how many she knew
Not
like
really.
the cartons for the amount for cigarettes in Arkansas, so she knew these people were fucking around with her. She did not destroy the drone, fucking shut the fuck up. Gary did, or whatever. She didn't, she was smart. She was very smart.
Well,
She knew that one guy.
she has street smarts. I
Well,
mean, and probably military smarts, but that doesn't necessarily make her a smart
I don't know. I
person.
thought she seemed smart. I
Uh,
had no problem with her, like as far as her intellect goes. I don't think her character wasn't completely dumb, like or
I
anything.
mean, she
Didn't seem.
smokes. She can't be very smart.
You
Uh,
say that, but like, you know how many people smoke that are probably very smart.
I
You
don't
know?
consider them to be very smart if they smoke.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a lot of people that you probably because that's a thing people develop in when they're younger or whatever when they're not you know uh
It's an
and
addiction that never had to happen.
well
You
I
don't.
didn't, so I
So
guess I'm very smart then. you know
you're smarter than somebody who smokes.
Jesus Christ. All right, John Ward just got canceled for calling people who you know I don't know. Anyway, the point being that this I what I really enjoyed about it though was just it had humor. Like I said, the part where she was like, she kicks the people down or whatever, knocks that one person, the old lady down, then shoots the old man, and then says, Arkansas, there's $6 for cigarettes in Arkansas. You dumb fucked up bitch. I don't know. I like that. I had a fun time with that. But things like that. There was some humor to it. It seemed.
There,
Um,
there was. I mean, there was some. I mean, I liked that the guy that was kind of training all of these liberals was not even in the military. Well, he's not in the army or he's in the National
National
Guard.
Guard. He never even actually did combat or anything.
Yeah, and Tears of the Sun is a real movie. So
I know. I'm wondering why they why
maybe
they
he
did
was
that.
actually in the movies,
That's what I'm
or
thinking. Let me. What was his name? Private something or whatever. Like or
uh,
ah, crap. Sorry, people. Uh, Now, do you think Don was was really part of their group or was I don't think he was. I think he was one of the people and the whatever. She shot the one guy at the end, toward the end where Athena said, "Oh, Don, did you get her? Did you get her, Don?" And then he was like, "I don't know what she's talking about. She's like lying to you. I'm really on your side." you know, and stuff. Do you think he
um,
was
just to let you know, that guy's name is it's Sergeant Dale,
Sergeant Dale?
but he doesn't have a link, at least on Wikipedia. I Well, I mean, Hillary Swank does tell her at the end. She goes, I manipulated you into thinking that Dawn was one of us.
Hmm.
So it's possible that he was on the right, that he was one of the hunted.
Yeah. Um. Oh,
Because what
Sergeant Dale is
he
Steve
could have killed her.
McCarty. What?
He
He
could have
could
killed her
he
at
coulda, and why
some
why
point.
wouldn't he have killed her? Like already, like he would have already shot her in the head. He didn't
Well, yeah,
even like.
and yeah, they know who's died and who hasn't, and they already know the names of all these people. So yeah, I think that it was a manipulation to get her to kill him.
Hmm. Well, it does not look like he was in Tears of the Sun, but he was in two episodes of Leftovers, interestingly enough. And
There you go.
yeah, so he was in, yeah, two episodes of Leftovers. One was directed by Mimi Letter. Leader?
Huh.
I don't know how you say her name, but wonderful. Yeah, he was a Texan guy. I don't know, like he was in Cherokee Creek, which I love. I have that movie. So it's a Bigfoot movie, made in Texas. Um, so it's funny. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like, I think because I'm not a political person, generally speaking, I'm not either side. I'm not left or right. I'm not even, I don't even know if I'm in the middle. I'm just non-political. I just don't really, now there will be movies that just piss me off because they're so, like, they've got an agenda and they're gonna throw it in your face and they're going to just make you not enjoy the movie because that's all they're talking about is their soapbox, and stuff. And I'm like, stop it. It's just getting obnoxious.
Yeah,
This didn't feel
that's.
that way to me. I don't know. I
I
maybe I'm
mean, I think it was too soft. It was kind of like when Patrick Stewart was talking about Picard before it came out, and he's like, "Oh, it's like if the Trump administration was running, the Federation." And I went,
if you
I don't
didn't
want to.
say that, I might have actually
I
liked
yeah,
it.
I don't want to watch this now. Why?
Or
Why?
them saying like Andor was like the Empire was like the Trump administration or
Yeah,
whatever in the movie, and like it's
and
like
I get that Patrick Stewart's very much to the left, and but I just and Star Trek is political, but it's Federation political to a point.
mhm.
I mean, classic Star Trek. Do you have its episodes about like Native Americans and things like that? But it's just like God, why?
Star Wars was political. I mean, they had was the senators and the councils and all that stuff, but like that stuff was all centered around space opera stuff. It was all political shit involving stuff that was going on in that like universe, that like, galaxy far, far away, right? And when they start making it seem like they're trying to put what's going on in the real world into those time periods, it gets obnoxious. This movie, yes, the whole basis of it is left and right, However, yeah, you're right, it's a little soft. It didn't really try to be one or more, and maybe that's why I liked it, more than you, because I think you were expecting if they were going to go political like that, they would go the purge and go one way and make it very like, oh man, this is the bad guys, you know what I mean? But here they didn't, you know they kind of sort of went, even though it was more like the right wins, you know, or whatever. You know what I mean? Nobody.
It's well. Remember, it was something like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The deal was is that Disney and Warner Brothers had equal time.
Mhm,
So that's why when they had scenes of like who was it like Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse falling in the sky, they were even
mhm.
as they were going down. It was all about equal time. So if you're going to do a political satire on because I still don't understand Don't Look Up. I don't get with the people who made that film, I don't understand how Meryl Streep is a Democrat and but acting like a conservative.
Mhm.
So maybe I missed the point. I don't get it. I watch a lot of that stuff, and I'm like, I don't understand. That doesn't seem right. But um, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it a little bit better because oh, by the way, Ike is on the picture. He's the guy with his back turned.
Yeah.
I just noticed his haircut. But if you look at these, like we don't really know who Emma Roberts' character is. I
Yeah,
mean,
we never
she's
get to really know her. We just know that
no,
she's
and we
yoga
don't.
pants.
Yeah, and then she's not even in the slides that they're showing. And but they made the liberals so annoying. Like when they're in the little bunker and the bald headed guy goes, "Hey guys," and the girl goes, "Hey guys,
Yeah.
really?" And he's like, "Sorry."
I
You know,
genderfied it, I
by
think
it.
is
Yeah,
yeah.
to me that's just annoying. And so
Uh
maybe I should be voting more for the other side because
right.
they don't seem to be as annoying.
Yeah, I agree. I was like that. You know, it's funny because Glenn Howerton is one of the guys there from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which would normally make fun of
Yeah,
shit
who's
like
the
this.
tall guy, right?
Yeah.
Who's on there? Yeah.
No, he's not in this
Oh,
thing
he's on
here.
the picture.
No, no, no. He's in he plays one of the hunters, you know, and everything. He's one of the liberals.
Oh, okay.
And he was
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Dennis.
I
He
know what
was
you're talking
Dennis
about.
and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's also the voice of Fred in Velma, by the
Ugh,
way. So
okay.
so it's really funny considering like these are two very political movies, sort of whatever, but like he's sort of playing, I don't know, like he's okay with doing that. But like if you watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Glenn's always making like his character's always making fun of this kind of shit. And yet he'll do that kind of shit in movies, you know, and play that, you know, like I mean, him playing Fred, Fred is just terrible in Velma. Just one of the
It's an awful show to begin with, but
yeah.
I mean, it's. I watched last night. I came across a review for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the new one, and it was a review that didn't like the movie,
Right.
and it was done by a woman, and so it was interesting hearing her talk about it. But I remember now the guy that's kind of like the handyman of the town,
Mm-hmm.
and like the girls, the influencers, I guess, make fun of him
Mm-hmm.
because he has a gun, and they like comment on the size of his penis. And then when they find the Confederate flag, that and the black guy is trying to take it down, and so the handyman just goes up and takes it down, and he goes, next time just ask. And it's
Right.
like, am I supposed to like him? Am I supposed to like the guy who's wearing the gun and has the Confederate flag up, or am I supposed to hate him? Because I certainly hate the main characters and I like him. And this is kind of the same thing in this, is that the hunt is, I think I liked the conservatives more than I liked the liberals because they weren't annoying. They
Yeah, they
weren't
made them
judging
play. I mean,
everybody.
they made them play the victims really well, you know. Like these people were, you know, I loved Ethan Suplee in it. Um, his character was so funny, especially when he found out the one dude, I forgot what the guy's name was, but he was one of the refugees on the, you know, and
Oh yeah.
he knew that one of them was, you know, a bad, you know, one of the bad guys or whatever. And
Well, he kept
so
calling them crisis actors, which is very
crisis
much Alex
actors.
Jones would say that with school shootings, that they're all fake, that they're all actors.
Well, anyway, this guy was I guess, a crisis actor or whatever, you know. And so the guy comes up and says something to him, and he says, you know, I will, you know, I'll let you have a head start before I come and kill you, you know, and stuff like that, which is dumb as fucking. Don't say that to somebody who's already right now,
Well,
like,
no,
you
because
know,
I thought that whole scene was kind of funny because he starts off speaking in a different language, like he
right.
is a refugee, and then when the cops walk or army guys walk away, he talks to him in English. He's like,
Yeah.
"This isn't going to go very well for you," and he's like, "What? I knew it! I knew it!" And then the guy
He
turns
keeps
back to the
talking in like,
army
yeah,
and then speaks in like a different language. Like, I don't know what this guy's talking about, and
yeah.
that type of stuff I did find funny.
I found it, and then he says, you know, whatever. So he pisses off Ethan Suplee. So Ethan Suplee attacks him, grabs the grenade, throws it down his pants, can't get it out, and you know, or whatever, and he explodes. And it was it was interesting. Like it was like uh now I don't know what necessarily happened because like that guy gets taken away, right? From the girl, you know, and then later he's dead, you know.
Yeah, he's in the trunk of the car with the knife in
He's
his
in the
head.
trunk, yeah. So he got killed. Um, probably because he fucking blew up that guy, or whatever. They made sure he got killed first. And then when they're driving, whatever. But like also before they picked him up, she meets Dawn, and Dawn's been telling the army guys that the Russian army guys that this is all a hunt, and everything. Like, and they don't believe it at first, I guess, you know.
Well, no, I think they absolutely believe it because that's the guy who comes up in the car with the American flags. When we look at his trunk, it says bribe money, and there's like
Uh,
a big box of bribe money. So I think that they like I
Bribed
don't
off
think that,
the military.
yeah, that they most likely knew that they were on the train and that they stopped it because remember the one guy who says that he's a refugee goes, this isn't a stop, we're not supposed to stop here. So I think,
Oh, so
yeah,
they
so
came up afterwards and said, "Look, this is we're taking
you,
these people from you."
well, yeah,
And
like Hillary Swank, I think knows they're on the train, calls the army guys, says we need to stop the train, you need to get them off, and then we'll have the American, and then the refugee guy, the fake, is fine. He doesn't die or anything. And then the guy who's from like the American embassy is supposed to kill them.
right,
But they are being bribed.
yeah.
So they know exactly what's going on.
I
But they
wonder
just
where.
this was not a plan
Well,
originally.
because Don got arrested by the Russian, or was not Russian, it's Croatian, I guess. Croatian uh military first, right? Because they were like, remember they brought him out when they
Right.
introduced him to her and everything, and they said he's he says he's been hunted as well. And so they let them both go because I guess they are, well, I mean, they were bribed. They knew that these people were coming to take them away, and they had nothing, there was nothing to do with them anymore, you know.
Unless Don was one of the liberals and they just had him in the back and they put the bag on his head and said, okay, now go get info from her.
But why wouldn't he? I mean, unless so she was as what they called him, snowball or whatever. Was she the one who was gonna always like? Was she always supposed to live so that she could fight Hillary, or
No,
did anybody have a chance to kill her?
I think anybody did because they if the crystal thing is correct, then they got the wrong crystal, then she probably would have been dead by now. But by accident, they grabbed somebody for the military who knew what she was
That's
doing.
what I'm thinking. Because
Yeah.
you see
So
those movies all
none
the
of that
time.
was,
Like
yeah,
there was
none of
that
this was in the
David
plan.
Pryor movie, where the guy was uh all of a sudden they kidnapped a wife or whatever, Deadly Prey. You ever seen that movie?
I know of it, but no, I've
And
never
they're
seen it.
doing it as a sort of a army training thing, but they picked the wrong guy. And he's actually a former Marine or whatever that's out there killing everybody and whatnot. Which, I mean, they didn't. I don't think they killed him. So in real life, they should have just like been like, "Oops, sorry, we picked you. We shouldn't have done that. Let's just call it a day." But they kept going after him, and because that's how action movies keep going. You know. In this movie, they picked the wrong chick, and they're like, "Oh fuck," But they didn't know they picked the wrong chick up until the end. They just thought this chick was, was somehow surviving and killing everybody.
Which is, it is a little weird that they, out of all of them, they did grab the wrong one.
Yeah.
It's like they seem to do their research and kidnapped all the right people. And then, I mean, was one of them dumb enough to just get the wrong crystal? So
Maybe it
there,
was
so now,
Glenn Howard Howerton's character because he's an idiot. He came out there like to pee, you know, and everything. Got his throat slit, you know. because he wasn't, 'cause he wasn't paying attention, I guess, or whatever, you
Well,
know?
and that's another thing with the liberal side of it. Like on the plane at the beginning, he's a dick. He's
Hmm?
a dick to the flight attendant.
Right.
And
But
then
that
at the
comes back
very
later too, when she's not a dick, you know?
a okay, I'll change my wording on this. A possible conservative who gets onto the plane and then offers her the wine and the caviar and tells her to sit.
Right.
So if so, once again, it's making the liberals seem like a total douche. And if she is conservative, they're making the conservative look like a really nice person.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I got to admit, through our conversation here, I'm kind of thinking a little differently about this. I don't really like it much more, but I am kind of wondering, like, okay, maybe this is something like The Game,
Yeah, a little bit.
well, but because when I saw it with a friend of mine, they went, "This is the dumbest movie ever," and I didn't like it, and I still don't like it because what if Michael Douglas went left instead of right? Like he would have to follow the exact plan down to the second.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, if he was 1 minute late to something, it would have screwed everything up. So I don't buy The Game. But if they did get the wrong crystal and they had a plan, this other crystal screwed it all up.
Hmm.
And I didn't think about that while watching it this time. Like,
Because the
huh,
whole time you watched it, you still thought that this was the right crystal.
yeah. And I even said that when at the end, I thought to myself, like, oh, she doesn't want to give her the satisfaction.
Right.
So and so, but maybe she isn't. Maybe this wasn't part of the plan.
I just
Maybe this, but you would also think that then Hillary Swank, because she's on the radio all the time and Crystal's there, would be like, oh, when we checked you out, we didn't know you were in the military. We just thought you were somebody like a waitress.
right. Well, she didn't know about the military, I don't think.
No, no, but she would. Why wouldn't you, like, shit? You took all these people down. Those are some military moves. You know how to use a gun.
But
So at
so
some
did
point,
and so
why?
did Athena, which is Hilary Swank's character, and that was because she was trained for what, 8 months or something for this, is what they said. So the guy was
Yeah.
telling her, "You're gonna die. This chick is gonna kill you," and
Well,
everything.
and training for what?
I guess in case they needed to murder somebody hand-to-hand combat, or whatever,
Why not
or
just shoot him?
that would be the easier way to go, and that was what I thought literally could have happened. You know what I thought? I thought this was going to be like, you ever seen the newer Suicide Squad with James Gunn?
Yeah, the Suicide Squad. Yeah.
The Suicide Squad. Well, the first 10 minutes of the movie has like one Suicide Squad that just gets obliterated in the first, like,
Right.
whatever. And I thought that's what this was. I thought they were doing it for the first time, and all these people were about to die, and that was going to be it. And then they're going to bring in another group of people that they were going to start again with or whatever, right? And no, because I was like, holy shit, they've killed like almost everybody here. How are they gonna, like, how is this gonna keep going? Because in the beginning you see all the people go into the field and see the guy open up the which one was the guy that opened up the box? By the way, I was speaking of David Fincher, I was thinking Seven when I was like, "What's in the box?"
Oh God.
What's
He's the guy who got the arrows, I think, in him.
Okay. So he was the yeah,
And he was a dick. The way that he put down that the front of the box, all the nails were still sticking up. It's like,
right.
dickhead, somebody can step on that. Flip it over, dick. You deserve the arrows in you.
Yeah,
Up,
he's
up. See, it's
inconsiderate.
foreshadowing that they had the nails up, and then he got hit with arrows.
Oh, and nails up, and that woman died with the nails, up or whatever in the pit,
Yeah,
you know. But I don't know if they really thought that way. I think it's just that
no,
just happened, But they pulled out all the guns, At one point they were like, "Why would they give us guns?" Right? And they're like, so that it'll be even, I guess, that'll be a fair killing, which I I mean, I that's what I thought, like give them weapons. Like you don't do that with deer. You don't say, "Hey, deer, here's some grenades. Go."
Uh, no, I mean, I guess with hunting, which I can completely disagree with, but I guess with hunting, you're still behind a tree and you're shooting a deer.
Right.
But Matthew McConaughey and his brother own a ranch down in Texas where they have open things of food, and deer will come up and eat the food, and then a guy behind a wall will shoot and kill the deer.
Do you think that
So
the hunting, the hunt or whatever, and they're hunting humans instead of hunting uh, whatever. I mean, uh deer or any kind of animal, is a thing to say about the liberals versus the conservative, because more conservatives hunt, you know, more conservatives hunt animals.
I would, if I'm understanding you correctly, I would say yes, because if you notice, the conservatives know how to use the guns,
Right.
and the liberal, and you can hear them off the two off screen when the guy who gets hit with the arrows, they throw the grenade and the pin is still in it.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Did you take out the pin?" And then no, what do you? I didn't know. Yeah, and then they throw another one with the pin out. Which to me, once again, I just have to go off the writing of these. I really don't think these guys are liberals, because it's. I'm sorry, I'm Democrat. I've seen a lot of movies and TV shows, and we all know you pull the pin out.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know that? I
Well,
mean, that shit's on Bugs
idiots.
Bunny and stuff.
Idiots. Yeah,
Yeah,
idiots
it's
or
so.
whatever that you want to sort
I
of.
mean, unless they're so rich and so pampered, and that they don't know how to do anything, which kind of goes back to South Park,
Right.
that
Oh
they
yeah, that
don't
South
even
Park
know.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, that they don't even know how to throw a grenade properly.
Right.
So
Um,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, they really came off that the liberals were, they were more concerned about ideology than, and this film was made 3 years ago, than they were about. It's almost seems like than survival.
right. Now, I was surprised because they did this in Croatia, you know. But I mean they mentioned like that there was a place in Vermont or something, right? And she actually bought a house in Vermont. She kept getting mad that she was like, it's not a manor, it's a house. It's a, or whatever. It's a I forgot what
Well,
she
but that's if she did have a three-bedroom house in Vermont. And then she bought, then they kept saying manor, 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 just like the
right.
conservatives kept saying manor, manor gate, that eventually she did buy a manor.
Well,
That
at
was
the
then
end of it,
Croatia.
she still got mad when she called it a manor. She said, it's not a manor, it's a house, like at the end of the
Well,
movie.
but it's not even her house. She said it was a rental that she decorated.
Uh-huh. That would make sense why she kept getting mad. Like, no more going through the glass.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
enough with the class. The door's open.
That fight scene, I'm sorry.
That
That
fight
was the
scene I thought
best
was
fight scene
great.
ever. My
Yeah.
niece was visiting and I said, you gotta see this. You gotta see this. This is the funniest thing. We were laughing our butts off because that was the best scene. It reminded me of Kill Bill and the where they're in the house fighting each other and it's just grabbing everything they can and just like, trying to hit each other and whatnot. I feel like it was much longer than the Kill Bill scene, or
It
whatever.
did go on for a while, and in the behind the scenes, they do talk to the fight choreographer, and they said that she purposely trained both of them with different fight skills. So the Crystal would be street fighting,
Hmm.
which would, yeah, be like her grabbing frying pans and glasses and throwing her around, while Hilary Swank's character was more like martial arts
Right.
oriented, because that's why she kept doing all the kicking.
Yeah.
Plus, Hilary Swank says that that's kind of her thing,
Yeah. I
is
think,
the
well, I mean,
kicking.
she was the next Karate Kid, you know, before.
Yes, and maybe this is what happened to the next Karate Kid. Maybe.
She changed her name, but everything
yeah,
else,
she didn't want to be known as that person anymore who was doing karate. And so
getting
she
picked on.
changed her name and she became this big business tycoon. And then she started hunting, but she could still use her next Karate Kid skills in a fight. There you go.
Is she also the same character from Girl Interrupted? I think that was what she was in. Was she Girl Interrupted? That was,
No, I
I,
don't think. No, she was in Boys Don't Cry.
Boys Don't Cry. I don't know why I get those two movies.
That we can't make a joke about
Yeah,
because of the type
probably.
of movie it is. Yeah, that
It's
we can't.
it's a good movie, you know.
It is a good movie, but Brandon, Brandon Tina, I think was the person's name
Yeah. Well,
in
it's
Boys
a
Don't
good
Cry.
movie. People should go watch it. Go watch Boys Don't Cry.
It is.
For some reason I don't know why. Maybe boys and girls. I don't know, but for
So
some reason I get them.
she was the karate. So she was the next Karate Kid. She then changed her sex to go over to Boys Don't Cry and changed her name. They thought that she was dead. And then she went to the hunt where she became the big businesswoman and then could change her name again. And then
Sadly, she's dead now, but maybe she's not, and maybe she'll be back.
she closed her eyes, and this pisses me off. If you close your eyes, you're unconscious. If your eyes are open, you're dead.
Right.
So she closed her eyes.
You know what's funny? I was in
So
a
she's
movie, and
unconscious.
a movie I wrote, and they wanted me to be dead. And originally, they asked me, the director, or so asked me if I wanted to keep my eyes open or closed, and I said open, because I didn't know that what you're just saying. But I just always thought, whenever I see people dead in a movie, they have their eyes open. So I kept my eyes. Fucking hardest thing to do when you have a long ass scene, you
Well,
know?
that's why I think people don't like doing it. So they just
Right.
close their eyes.
Yeah, it's just
But
easier,
if
but
you're asleep and you die in your sleep, yeah, your eyes are shut. But you die if you get shot in the street and die, you're not going to go. You're just going to be on the ground with your eyes open.
right. So anyway, so she could not, she might not be completely dead, and she'll come
Yeah,
back and be in Cobra Kai season
we
6.
can only hope because who knows what's going on with that? We haven't heard anything in like a year about
Well,
Cobra
no, but
Kai.
unfortunately, it's the strike has kind of
They
screwed
can
a lot
still
of that
talk
over.
about it.
No,
They
they
can
can't.
say
Well, the
they
actors can't.
no, but the filmmakers can say,
Yeah,
hey,
the
because of the
filmmakers.
strike, it's being delayed a
Well, I
year.
think
I
that's what
mean,
they said. I think they did say that. I think that was in
I
the
haven't seen anything on it.
was
Nothing.
oh well. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I
I
mean,
hope it comes back. I hope they don't just say pull the plug on it.
I don't think
Uh,
so, but I mean, everything's
they
getting
left it on
delayed
a
again.
cliffhanger to me. Like I want to know what the fuck's gonna happen next.
No, they
For
said that
just
they would be the final season,
Yeah,
season
I know,
six.
I
So
know.
yeah. So I mean, I the one thing that really did bum me out was Emma Roberts. Is I kind of watched this for her, like one
Originally, when you
because of
first watched it,
yeah, I'm like, oh, it's Emma Roberts. Let me check it out because I have a massive crush on her. So it's like I've watched
but I think they pulled a
some
Drew
bad
Barrymore.
movies.
Where you thought it was going to be more about her and everything, and then it's about Betty Gilpin.
I think they got some people that had names who wanted to do this, and they're like, okay, well, there's only one main character,
Right.
so we can't you can't live, you got to die. And they're probably, both her and Ike are probably like, okay, yeah, how many days? Oh, 2 days each. Pay you X amount of money. Okay,
Sure, why not?
but
Yeah.
but she, man, when her head got blown off, I'm like, damn, shit. Oh well.
And it happened so quick. I even sent you a text saying bye bye, Emma. She went and you
One
were
and
like,
and
oh
her
my
thing was
goodness.
funny. She's like, that almost hit me, and then the next one blew her brains out.
Right.
I'm like,
So
no,
yeah,
no,
I
Emma
could see you
Roberts,
just go
no,
no, like slow motion,
no.
you know.
Oh, so
Yeah.
bummed, so bummed. And,
Oh
and
well.
and I think the guy behind you that's in the brown that should have been Cole Hauser. I
Maybe
would
they're
have
just
gone
gonna
for
get
Cole
him.
Hauser on that.
Maybe they're
I
gonna
mean,
get him. I don't know who
that
that guy is, but I mean I know who Cole Hauser is. I don't know who that guy is. That's behind that's talking to her. Um, but I did like Ike. I see he's not he hasn't like he's been in a bunch of stuff and I've seen him and I was like, is that the guy that is in a lot of comedies, you know?
Yeah.
And but
He's
he
always the
wasn't funny
brother.
in this. He wasn't funny in this, at
No, and
all.
that may be one reason why he wanted to do it, because like in the Mindy project, he's like a total doof.
Right.
And
So
he
maybe
normally plays that brother, the guy that's kind of the dumb brother.
the dumb brother. Yeah. I mean, he was great in Neighbors. I loved him in Neighbors. Neighbors 1 and 2. I like to see him and stuff, but I just don't remember his name. Now I'm gonna have to remember his name because I mean, I swear this guy's gonna keep getting bigger and bigger too as an actor, you know.
Well, like he
So
was on like Mad TV, he was on Eastbound and Down, which is great. The Mindy
wait, what
Project.
season of Mad TV, like toward the end of the series or something? Because I don't remember him in
Uh,
the he can't be old
let's
enough to
see.
be in like the beginning of Mad TV. He's young.
He's in 116 episodes.
Shit, he was in Blockers too. Fuck. I need to rewatch that. I own it.
Yeah, Family
Yeah,
Guy, Weeds, Eastbound and Down, Mindy Project, Drunk History, The Soup. I mean, he's in a ton of stuff. That's just TV.
yeah.
Movies is yeah,
But wait,
2001 is when he started.
oh, he was an executive producer for History of the World Part Two, which I heard bad things, but sadly,
Yeah, I
uh,
can't imagine that was good. And I like Mel Brooks.
I love Mel Brooks. I hate to say it, he hasn't made a good film since Spaceballs, maybe. I mean, even Robin Hood Men in Tights had some funny bits, but it wasn't that good.
Eh.
If you be honest. And Track to the Dead and Loving It was ugh. So and he stopped doing stuff for a while except for producing, like he produced the producers. And then so I don't know. He's one of those directors that, had huge hits at one point and just kind of fell off the fell off the wayside.
Well, he didn't become relevant anymore. I mean, I think his last good film is History of the World Part One.
You don't
I
even
don't
like Spaceballs?
no, because the idea of spoofing a genre is that you spoof the entire genre, not one movie. You
Well,
don't just spoof Star Wars.
right.
You know, you
Yeah,
don't just spoof Dracula. You don't just spoof Robin Hood. You spoof which is what all these other people did later on. History of the World Part One is him spoofing the entire history. Blazing Saddles is all the westerns. Young Frankenstein are all the Universal Frankenstein movies.
right.
And instead, what he started doing later on, and no, I didn't like Spaceballs. I mean, it had some moments, I guess, but it's all just a giant spoof on one movie.
Well, Airplane spoofed all of those disaster
And
movies. They
that's why
did.
Airplane is funny.
Yeah. And Naked Gun did all the cop and other stuff, But then it kind of went off like, later.
Yeah.
Um, I I agree. I don't know. I still I think you
A,
might
lo-
just not like Spaceballs, but it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like I
a
quote that
lot of
movie all the
people
time.
your age, because I grew up with Mel Brooks. Like I saw
Right.
Young Frankenstein in the theater. I saw Silent Movie in the theater. I saw,
I didn't like
all that
Silent
stuff.
Movie. Maybe I need to rewatch that because, I didn't really find it as funny, but
I should probably rewatch it because I just saw it as a kid. But I think people around your age, younger, like the later ones because you grew up with them. You know
right.
these movies. Where I grew up with Blazing Saddles and all that, and
I need to see High Anxiety because I've been watching a lot of Hitchcock and I think it pokes fun
that's
at
a good
one
one. See, it
Hitchcock.
spoofs all Hitchcock, not just
Yeah,
one Hitchcock.
right.
So
So
it's,
you're right, right. I'm just saying. I don't know. Like you're right.
but a
I
lot of
think
people like it. A lot of people like it.
Spaceballs was like my time period. Like I guess I grew up watching it. I liked it more than Star Wars, when I was a kid because I wasn't really big into Star Wars. But Spaceballs didn't just do Star Wars in a way. It just didn't make fun of just Star Wars. It made fun of Wizard of Oz. It made fun of Planet of the Apes. It made fun of all these different movies that I just
But
enjoyed.
it's primarily Star Wars.
Right. I mean, there's primarily Star Wars, but then, it spoofs Alien. There's a thing that comes out of the guy and then starts dancing, or whatever. And,
Which to a point, some of these don't even serve a purpose. I mean,
but
it's
they're
just, oh look, we're
funny.
we're in this restaurant, and it doesn't add to the story.
It doesn't, but it's funny. And it made me
Everything and
laugh.
everything in High Anxiety adds to the story.
Well, good. I mean,
It moves it along. So, but to get back on target, I
I'll
was
stay on
looking
target.
stay on target. I was looking up Ike's films, and yeah, he has not done some Meet the Spartans,
Oof.
disaster movie,
Oof. He's been in those
vampires
movies?
suck. Then there's Neighbors 2. So we'll give him those two because I liked both of those. Then Suicide Squad. Um, the Disaster Artist. He plays himself. He has a cameo.
Yeah, I think he's one of the guys in the beginning of the movie that says how much he loved The Room, because of how bad it was, or whatever.
Okay. Bright, which I think is the Will Smith movie, which was supposed to be garbage. Um,
Yeah, Blockers. I love Blockers. Have you seen that yet? AKA Cock Blockers. They couldn't call it Cock Blockers
no.
because, but they had like the rooster in front of it. It's funny. It's got like great cast in it, fucking loved it.
Yeah, no, I've never even heard of it.
I
He
saw it in
did
the
do
theater and then I really liked it.
Angry Birds movie. I don't know if that made a lot of money, but Lego movie too.
Hmm.
And then he was in the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent
Oh, the Nick Cage
film. Yeah.
being the Nick Cage movie.
Yeah. So he's very hit and miss.
Yeah, I mean, most actors, I think, when they start doing lots and lots of work and they're very, excited to work with all these different people, then they end up doing different, like there's some of them's going to be hit or miss. You know what I mean? Like some movies.
Yeah, but he had a lot of hit and miss with those parody movies. So
That was Miss, because I don't Meet the Spartans and Vampires Suck, all of them. I just after a while they went straight to video anyway, and nobody really watched them, and
no,
they were just garbage. Um,
they were.
it wasn't until was a Haunted House, which I think you told me you liked that a lot,
I liked
and
the
stuff.
first one a lot. I enjoyed the second one. It's not as good, but I laughed my head off. I was actually crying during it. I thought it was so funny. I
Good.
don't know why people hate that movie. It
I
is
I think
one
they
of the
hate it because it's
funniest things I've
easier to
ever
hate
seen.
parody movies now, period. You know, And I think it's because of movies like Meet the Spartans and all that stuff that kind of fucked it up for everybody. It's really hard to like, but it brought back the original Scary Movie people, or some of them, and whatnot. So I haven't seen it yet. It's not like I don't want to. It's just I just haven't, sat down and watched it.
Well,
Yeah.
and since he seems to do a lot of these types of movies, maybe that's one of the reasons why he wanted to do The Hunt, is because it's supposed to be a satire, like a political
Right.
satire. So it's some work and some don't. I mean, there's plenty of political satires out there that don't work,
Right.
and I think this to a degree is one. So
I don't think I just don't find it a satire. I don't know if it really can be considered that, but maybe it can. I don't.
or maybe that's what they dubbed it later.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, see, it's meant to be a satire. It's meant to be funny.
I didn't find it. I mean, funny. It made me laugh at times, but it wasn't like that. That wasn't the thing. It was a serious movie. It was a serious, like the stuff that happens throughout it. Very, very violent and nasty. Lots of gore, which is a lot of fun. You know, um, this is horror film lovers, but this isn't really, to me, this wasn't a horror film. Maybe a thriller, but I wouldn't consider this a horror film, you know.
Well, in the documentary of this, Jason Blum says first and foremost this is a horror movie, and then it goes to one of the writers who then calls it like an action thriller.
Right.
And then some of the reviews I saw said, "Oh, it's a political satire." So who knows what this movie is? Where would
I
you
guess
put it in a
it's up to
video
your
store?
interpretation, just like the idea of the ending, that's up to your interpretation, Like, was she really the same chick they thought she was, or was she not? And my personal take on it, even though she said, no, I'm not, and you're like, oh, she wasn't given the satisfaction. I think she was literally saying, nope, bitch, you got the wrong girl, because
I mean,
I am not who you
where
think
would
it.
you put this in a video store? If you had to file this away at Blockbuster, where would you put it?
Suspense mystery. That's
Okay,
usually
so
where the thrillers went.
yeah, I mean, we had action, adventure, drama, suspense. So I know I'd probably put it action thriller.
Yeah,
So in the same area that you would, yeah, I wouldn't
yeah,
call it a horror movie,
yeah. I
but
mean, we
now
had like in my video store, we had the sections were like mystery suspense was thrillers, so that's where Silence of the Lambs was. That's where
which is a
those
horror movie.
right, which some people call that a horror movie, yeah, and stuff. But what was her was the Gina Davis, was that who did a long kiss goodbye and stuff? Was that her
Well,
kiss
Long Kiss
goodnight? Good
Goodnight
night.
is Gina Davis with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, that would have been in the mystery suspense, stuff.
Oh, see, I
Maybe
would have put that in
action.
action.
That
Yeah,
might
because
have
that's
been
an action
action, but
movie.
might have been mystery suspense because it was,
Yeah, I'd put that
you know,
next to Die Hard. Yeah, so it's I don't know. See, now I'm starting to think differently here. I'm starting to think differently.
I know it's not still your favorite movie, but I think it's funny
I
because
don't
I
want to
think the
watch it
more
again.
you don't want to watch it again.
At least, maybe 5 years from now or something. And hopefully I can remember this or I'll watch this video again because now I'm wondering, is it just bad writing or something? Because what is Hilary Swank preparing for? If this is supposed to be just crystal dumbass, she would have died
You're right.
most
And I think they
likely.
were expecting her to die, right?
So what was she preparing for? Because it wasn't her.
Well, I guess she was preparing in case anybody survived, you know, and killed everybody, Because
I mean,
remember, you're putting a bunch of far right wing conservative gun nut jobs who probably know how to do guns, very well. Um,
do guns.
yeah, shoot guns, whatever. You do guns.
But
Yeah.
she unless no, but then it was at the end when she asked her. I was to say maybe midway through or something, she realized it wasn't the right person, and that's why because we see her working out a bunch. Like even in
Hmm.
that flashback, she's working out.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe is it just bad writing
I don't
that
know.
that
I think also we have to think about this. This was put out in 2020. When was this actually made?
if I could see the well, I'll just look here because I have it up.
Because when was it actually actually shot? Was it shot in 2019 or was it shot in 2020? I don't think it was shot in 2020 because I think it came out like
Yeah,
April
it's
2020.
well, it got moved once or twice, but I don't think yeah, because it says 2020.
Okay. I was gonna say
Um,
because it can't be shot in 2020 because that would have been COVID time.
oh, so here the film was originally scheduled for release September 27th, 2019.
Right.
So it was
So
already so it's before Trump.
mm,
Oh no, it's during
no,
Trump.
it's
Trump was
after, yeah, it was during Trump.
2016. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
2016 was
And you
Trump. So
said that
yeah,
Trump told everybody don't watch
yeah,
it because this
yeah,
is,
don't watch it. Yeah, because he was
which
president at the
I'm
time.
like, I'm like, why does he even have anything to do with, like, it's this movie was not even, this movie wasn't even a movie that's like saying we should fight one side or the other. It's just like, what if nut
because
jobs?
Trump is a child and he has the brain of a child,
It's like
and
the idea of like what happens if nut jobs kidnap other nut jobs? Like, you know, like the far and the far and whatnot. And I don't like as a non-political person, I mean I don't I honestly didn't care who won at the end. I mean, I was kind of rooting for Crystal a little bit just because Hillary Swank was being a total bitch to her, you know? But and then we sort of see that her side is like she's calling these people deplorable. But I'm like, I mean, that seems normal, you know?
well, that's what Hillary Clinton said. That's why I believe that she lost the election was her saying deplorables. That
She
ruined
was
it.
yeah,
I knew the election was done when she said that. I'm like, nope, we're done. Trump won.
Trump
And
won
that was
that
still,
election.
yeah, that was still a couple months before, the election day. It's
Yeah.
like you really got to kind of watch what you have to say. But Trump chimes in on freaking everything that he has nothing to do with. He's such an idiot. He's so stupid, and people believe the garbage that he talks about. And it's he's a pathological liar, and he's not a smart person. I mean, even Rain Man was good at math. So I mean, even a stupid person can be smart at something.
Right.
But he's so of course he's going to take and he's like a fake Republican to begin with because he used to be Democrat and he gave
I was
Bill and
thinking
Hillary
that. I was
like a
gonna
ton of
say that,
money.
but then I wasn't sure if I was right
Yeah,
about that or not.
he was
So,
pro-abortion and then he wasn't. And then I think that the conservatives, went up to him and said, we want you to run for president, but you got to be a
yeah.
conservative, but we'll give you a ton of money. And now he just believes all the crap that he spewed out. So he's also not a Christian because he doesn't know anything about he when he took that photo, he held the Bible upside down. Like
I don't care. Like whatever.
I mean,
I don't care about
it's
Trump.
so, but I
Um,
think if they used maybe that type of logic with these people in the hunt, maybe that would be better.
like
But
all of a sudden somebody was holding gun. Well, no, they did. The
well,
guy,
Emma Roberts, she didn't know how to use a gun.
but no, but like no, but they use that logic with the liberal
Of
character.
course,
You know,
first, yeah.
he doesn't know how to fucking pull out the pin of the grenade, so
Well,
they
the
are
pen
like,
and in the bunker when she's running around, when Crystal's running around, they could barely get the guns together.
yeah.
So what was this guy training them to do then? Why was he there if they can't even put a gun together?
Well, he wasn't even a good trainer at all. He never actually was
No,
in combat or anything. He
I,
was a
I'm
terrible
I'm
trainer.
telling you, if the hunt was real, if the purge was real, I would learn how to use a gun very fast, and I'm against guns.
All right.
So I would be out there at the range taking lessons. If the government said in 2 years we're going to have the purge, it's going to be a real thing. I'd be learning how to use all sorts of guns, all that type of stuff.
Am I correct to think that somebody said like "Don't First Amendment me" or something?
Yes,
You know, who was that? Was
yeah.
that Ike's character? Or was that somebody else?
No, that was when Hillary's character was being fired.
Right.
And she says to the guy across from her, she's like, I'm allowed to voice my opinion.
Oh, that was okay.
And he goes, don't First Amendment me.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So
Yep. You're right.
and
There was
and and you're allowed to do that. I mean, of course, the company is allowed to fire you also
exactly,
because of
and
that.
that was a good point. That's a good point because he said, yeah, no, like when she was like, I'm allowed to say whatever I like to say online, but then, you know, the thing with companies, even like say something like Walmart, if you do something that affects the company's brand, you know, or whatever. Say you went on a well, not shooting spree because obviously you'd be arrested for that anyway. Say you did something, so you said something online that was so
Well, James
anti,
Gunn,
you know, well, yeah, we'll get to that in a second, but
10 years ago,
that was wrong. That was wrong because yeah, that was 10 years ago. Everybody sort of people made jokes back then that was not cool, that
I mean,
almost anybody could probably get in trouble
it
for.
also matters. Back then, it was fine. We're just looking at it as today. So I'm not going to give his name up, but I watch a YouTuber. He's gay, and I find his stuff to be hilarious. And he just did an episode where he reviewed the first episode of Scream Queens, the
Mm-hmm.
reality show. And James Gunn is one of the judges.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff he says to these women, and the guy who made the video shows it, is really bad. But back then, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So it's all in how you look at it, which is why I thought it was hilarious that, Disney fires James Gunn over a post from 10 years ago. He then goes and makes a movie for DC that was a hit. And then
So he
Marvel's
knows
like, oh,
all
no,
the
no, come
trade
back, come back, come
secrets
back, come back.
from Disney. Then he knows
Just,
how to kind of
we need you to come back. We need you to come
right.
back.
They need him to come back, and then he only comes back for one more movie, and then he said, "I'm done. I'm moving on to," and he becomes the was it the president of DC Films, co
Yeah. So, I
co-president
mean,
or whatever.
so he handled it correctly. So that's
Then
why anybody can, like these people that they do find deplorables in the movie, they have their right to say what they want as long as it doesn't get somebody killed.
right.
So like that guy who has the podcast, as long as you're not Alex Jones, who's saying Sandy Hook was crisis actors, and then his fans are going out terrorizing the family of the victims.
Oh, that's mean. I didn't even know
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. They got death threats. One family, I think they said, moved
Oh.
17 times, and that's why they eventually sued him. And
You know,
and
there's a lot of
so
people out there doing terrible things just for like TikTok views. Like there's one dude that went up and actually punched a guy and robbed him and then claimed, "Oh, I apologize. What you didn't see was I apologized to the guy and shook his hand." No, they found footage of him actually robbing the guy too, so he's in jail. Like it's bullshit. Like people are doing stupid shit to get like attention on the internet when
yeah.
what they should be doing really is focusing on getting a real job or even if you're going to be an influencer, actually influencing people in a way that's healthy or positive. So,
Well, yeah, and that's where I think that it's maybe we needed a little more background on some of these people. Like, what did Emma Roberts do? Like, is her?
yeah,
I'm assuming her dad is a Republican, probably congressman. What did she do? Why not
like,
kidnap the dad?
right. Well, no, because I think everybody that was picked up had said something on the online about this group of people, and stuff and this manor
So
game.
I think we needed to see that. I think
Yeah, I
because there's
think
not that many people there. It's
I
not like they
know.
had 20 people they were going after, and we did see some slides.
I feel like
With
this could
Go
have
on.
been longer. This movie could have been longer, and I would have been okay
Yeah,
with that actually. I
yeah.
feel like it was too short. I feel like if they had put in 30 minutes extra with, you're right, with stuff that like background on these kind of actors, because really like Emma Roberts, you were excited to see her in the movie, but you were also really excited to get to know her, right? Like her character. You didn't get to know her character. All she was
No,
yoga pants. And honestly, she might have had fun doing it, but that's a terrible sort of role for her because she's a fucking big ass actress. She was in Scream 4. She was the lead in that. She should have been,
she was in Nerve with Franco, the brother
yeah,
Franco, not
Dave Franco,
James
yeah.
Franco, Dave
Dave
Franco.
Franco, yeah.
Yeah.
She was
So how
also,
dare they?
and how dare, and she was in, wasn't she Nancy Drew? Ah,
Yes, she was
yeah.
Nancy Drew,
But
and she's in a movie with Mila Jovovich.
oh, so two of your loves,
I
in one
know.
movie.
So she was, and now I need to find it. So it's actually a sci-fi type thing. I'll know what to post it
Mila's
with that.
really good at that.
Scream 4. Yeah, she's been in some good movies actually. Nerve, where is it? Oh, Paradise Hills, I think
Cool.
is what it's called.
So Anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. If
Paradise
they
Lost.
put maybe a half hour more, not even that, they could have been just in 15 minutes or something more, where it just explained where these people came from, like kind of thing. Like they did, like they started to do. I thought that's what they were going to do when they said like, 1 year earlier or something, or whatever, and it explained where what happened with the beginning of the movie where we see uh the phone text stuff.
Yeah, it's like even in that flashback where we're looking at the slides, we even see a black guy with a cowboy hat on,
Right.
and they're like, "How dare you? You can't do that." There are some really hardcore black conservatives
Hmm.
that are huge Trump supporters, and they're basically more or less kind of disowned by their community
Kanye
because
West.
of that. And who?
Kanye West.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much disowned.
Yeah.
But why not? Why can't they? Why can't they do that? If this guy did something bad that they didn't like, why can't they? Is it because he's black that he can't be hunted? So only
I
white people can be hunted?
Yeah, so in the movie we see only white people hunted,
Yeah,
right? And whatnot. And and they all seem like normal, like conservative, you know, white people, you know.
I
Um,
if this was 2016, I would have joined the liberals in this, and I had to deprogram myself to realize that conservatives and even a Trump supporter are not bad people,
they're not.
and that not everybody, like I'm Democrat, so I will vote for whoever the Democratic nominee is. It doesn't matter if I like them or not. So there are conservatives out there who will vote for that candidate even if they don't like them
Right.
because they just vote conservative. And it took a long time for me to realize that, yeah, it either has to be to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, or to the left, to the left, to the left.
Hmm.
That really, like I did watch, I put up on Facebook my Halloween movies, and I did watch Halloween Ends, which reminds me of Jamie Lee Curtis for Halloween Kills when she was talking about that mob scene. She goes, "Oh yeah, it's like Black Lives Matter." What? That
Yeah.
how does that mob scene have to do anything with Black Lives Matter? But
Uh,
she is so liberal. And I
yeah.
like Jamie Lee Curtis, but she is so liberal that she has to equate these things to politics and to whatever side she is on.
So you really don't like when people get interviewed and they like have specific view on the political aspect of the movie, right? Like this, like you said, like this was like Black Lives Matter. You also said earlier that God, we're saying everything that
Yeah.
if I were actually getting paid to, do this or whatever, that I would just everything would be bleeped or taken out or whatever, or not even
Well,
put up.
just look at my rant on the Exorcist Believer. I
I
go
mean,
off for over an hour, like destroying David Gordon Green and to a point Danny McBride, and also to a point Seth Rogen,
you know what?
because
I'm gonna have to watch that movie sometime when it's on, like HBO or whatever it's gonna be on. And then we can discuss it because maybe I'll change your mind on something. I doubt it, but
I don't think because of one line, and every review has brought this up, which is the father of the black girl meets up with Ellen Bernstein. She says, "I was not allowed in the room while they were doing the exorcism," and he goes, "Why?" And she goes, "The patriarchy." I was fucking done. I'm like, seriously? The reason why you weren't allowed in the room in the original movies, one, you're not an exorcist because both of them friggin' die. And two, you probably would have been killed.
well, did she
Which,
know that? Did
and
she
I
know
know,
that? Did her character know that though?
I would imagine so.
I don't think
So I'm,
so.
I'll say this because I know you haven't seen the new one, but let's just say she does enter the room of one of the possessed girls, and she may not be coming back for the sequel.
Right,
So
but what I'm saying is like then that just proved your point, right? Which is not her point. Like her saying that does not necessarily mean that she was that's like right or wrong. That was her mind. Her mind was
no,
that she was part of the patriarchy, or she wasn't part of the patriarchy, and that's why she
no,
wasn't
the
allowed in the
men are
room.
part of the patriarchy.
Right. And that's why she wasn't allowed in the room, which it was all her. That was probably a lot of anger, a lot of hate on this stuff. Like, I'm not allowed in that room because I'm not a male and I can't go and
I
perform the exorcist
no,
with them. I think
I
that's what
think
it
that
was.
I think that's what David Gordon Green and Danny McBride think. I
Right.
think that's why they added in. But if you watch The Exorcist, the reason why she's out of the room is so she
But they
doesn't get
don't tell her
killed.
that. They
She's
don't
not. They don't have to tell her that.
well, but
If there's a sniper in a building, I don't have to say, Jonathan, there's a sniper in the building. You can hear the gunfire. You run.
right.
So I mean, it's a stupid line. It's dumb. Everybody has pointed it out, including me in my review.
Hmm.
And it's stupid. It's a modern day word that is now used to show how, to put on to white men. And as I'm sure, if you watch the original Exorcist, and there is at no point where she thinks she's being kept out because she's a woman. She's
Okay.
already been through enough. I mean, you like The Exorcist, you've seen it. She's already been through
Yes, I love it.
enough.
I just got the 4K.
Yeah,
Ah,
there you
the
go.
original. The original. I don't think I'll be buying the Blumhouse one, which I didn't I we've had this discussion. You apparently have fallen back and you've fallen in love with Halloween Ends. I still can't watch it because it's just not Michael Myers anymore. And it's not, oh, this is so Halloween 3 or whatever. This was a Michael Myers movie, you know.
Well,
Like
it is Christine. It's
it's more
Christine.
Christine, yes,
No, it's
but
not more Christine. It's Christine. I watched Christine right before I watched it. It is Christine. Michael is Christine. Arnie is the nerd with glasses. Corey's the nerd with glasses. The bullies both break his glasses. He takes revenge on the bullies.
why
It's
why
it's it's literally Christine.
why were they Bandcamp people for irony?
I'm thinking that now, back then in Christine, the bullies were like the machine shop guys or the football team and stuff.
Right.
These days, and maybe it is a little bit of a joke because David Gordon Green does more comedies than horror, but maybe it is a joke that it's supposed to be the Bandcamp people or the band team, and or that's just now who's beating up on people. The nerds are now taking over and
Well,
beating
nerds
up
are
on
cool
people.
again, but
So,
when I was a kid, the nerds were
but
not. People with
a nerd
glasses
can be a
got picked
bully.
on pretty badly, you know, and everything. And I took karate and I still didn't fight back because I just,
Were you the
you know,
Karate Kid? Like, were you a
I
kid?
mean, I wanted to be. I think did we have this discussion before? But no, I wanted to be the karate kid. That's how I got into karate. you know. I My dad asked me what sport I wanted to do, and I said I wanted to do karate like the Karate Kid, and that's what happened. My
There
dad
you
was
go.
like,
So you,
"Okay, great.
wow.
There's a was it rec center right by the gym that I go, in the gym I go to. So he went to the gym and worked out, and I would go work out at my karate class, and then both be done, you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you are the
But
bully.
but I never no, I never fought, because I knew karate and technically if you knew karate and you fought, your hands are lethal weapons or you can
Yeah,
be in
it's
serious
for
trouble.
defense.
And you
That's how
can
Nicolas Cage goes to jail in Con Air.
right,
His hand. The judge even says your hands are lethal weapons.
right, because
Guilty.
you know karate and you know how to actually defend yourself like
Yeah,
that
I
and you
think he
can
might have broke the
actually
guy's
if
nose.
yeah, if you break somebody's nose or do something like that, you can be liable for that damages because you knew karate and that person, even if the person provoked it and caused the problems, it doesn't matter. They don't look at that. And so I got picked on and just allowed that. But band geeks never picked on me. It was always like the jocks or just the assholes. that picked on me, and jocks never picked on me either. They didn't care about me. Like I was like a nothing to the jocks. You know, it's always the people who are like
but
the
it's
just
but it's
assholes.
different. The band is different, and like we know from the font and the color and stuff for Halloween Ends that it is Halloween 3,
Hmm.
and pretty much telling us up front that this is going to not be your typical Halloween movie. It's going to be different. So maybe he's like, you know what, the football team, the that's boring. We've seen it 10 billion times. What if it was the band? What if what if these band people were it? So it doesn't bother me now. Plus, I don't know high school.
Yeah, you don't know
So
what high school is today. You know,
yeah,
right?
I
I
mean,
don't even know what it is
I
today.
mean, if yeah, if they're doing like the whole, bullying through, like
Cyberbullying.
cyberbullying, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, when I was graduating high school, that's when like the AIM was a big thing, you know, AOL Mr. Messenger and things like that might have been chat rooms, you know, and whatnot, which, like I said, which I thought, like, what chat rooms were they like? Do those still even exist today? I don't know, you know, because they apparently commented. You said that some are podcasters, so that makes sense. But I think some people were actually commenting things, and it might have been comments on like social media, you know, or whatever that people saw. Hey, your cat wants to join us. That's awesome.
he's lonely.
Y-
He's not getting his attention. So
Yeah, he needs his attention. He needs his love. I think we're about that time to kind of wrap up.
there he is. Hi, Boris.
Hi, what's his name?
Boris.
Boris. Where's Natasha? Is Natasha around?
Nah, she
No.
doesn't want as much attention. Boris likes attention.
Wait, do you really have a cat named Natasha?
Yeah, I have two cats. They're brother
Ah,
and sister, Boris and Natasha. Yeah,
man,
she's
that's a
probably
nice Rocky
sitting in
and
the.
Bullwinkle reference.
Yes, yes. My cat unfortunately had to be put down, and so the woman I was dating at the time felt really bad, and I said I wanted to name a cat Boris. And she goes, "Why?" I said, "I don't know. I just like the name Boris." And then she found through, I think it was Craigslist, these people that were giving away the last two kittens, the male and female, brother and sister. And she goes, Boris and I'm like, oh, Natasha. And she goes, exactly. So they were named Boris and Natasha.
There you go. All right, so to kind of wrap this up, I do we on these things we don't really do the score, do we? Like we do on Mainstream
I
Monday.
I guess we can.
I
Sure, why
guess we
not?
can. Why not? Because I'll probably put a put it in Letterboxd at some point. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 4.5. I enjoyed it. I really did. It's not like a perfect movie or anything by any chance, you know, imagination. But it like from start to finish, I was intrigued. I wanted to know what was gonna happen. I liked Betty Gilpin. I think that's how you say her name. I enjoyed
Yeah, I
her,
think that.
you know, and I'm not a Glow. I tried watching Glow, kind of get into Glow, wasn't my thing. I know Paul loves it because he loves Alison Brie.
That's why I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And she gets naked.
I know that's the big thing in it too, and
Yeah.
so she lived where or she lived I don't know where she lives now, but she lived around where I was living because I was living over close to Pasadena, and I would go to Target and Walmart by Pasadena, and so I was like, I wonder if I'll accidentally run into her or Dave Franco, you know, because they live over there. But no, I don't. As maybe I did run into her and I didn't recognize her because whatever. I doubt she would go to Walmart that much, you know, like that. You know,
She has people to go for her.
that's what my guess would be.
So
Um, there real quick. I worked in Calabasas, for a job doing like surveys over the phone and stuff. And across the street was it a grocery store, and I knew the Kardashians apparently lived there. Sadly, you know, or whatever. Like, and so I was like, oh, I wonder if I'd run into her. I talked to a friend of mine who actually watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians and told me that they actually had an episode where Kylie wanted to go grocery shopping because they never go grocery shopping because they always get people to go for them. So they made a whole episode where they did that, or whatever. And I thought, I don't think it was when I was out there and
Wow, so they made an episode of something that people do every single day.
much, which they don't do every single day. They're not normal, I guess,
It's
they
like
have
people who make candles and give them as gifts. Wow, thanks. I could buy this in the store.
exactly. But anyway, I just thought that was so funny because those things of like seeing people, I'm pretty sure they actually go and, you know, get their own they don't get their own groceries. I'm sure somebody else does.
No, no, they don't.
They
That's why Trump thinks you need an ID to buy bread. And I'm not joking. He has said this like 100 times. He thinks
yeah,
that when you go into a grocery store and buy bread, you have to show your ID to do it because he lives in the 30s, I guess, or 20s or whatever.
but you had to buy bread in the 30s with an ID card?
I have no idea when you did this. I would think it would probably that's probably maybe the time period. I don't know, but according to Trump, you have to show an ID to buy bread.
I
Once
never
again,
heard
showing like
him
this.
say that, but like
Oh,
I
he's
don't
just
really
type it
listen to
in.
his stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's he's
I
said
don't
it
need
probably like
I don't
10
I'm
times
sure it's
already.
true because but anyway. Um
There we go. Why don't we do the hunt too? And it could be ex presidents that are being hunted. So you can have like Bill Clinton. So you can make it even. So it'd be like you could have the ones that are still alive, obviously. So you got Bill Clinton, you could have Obama, you could have Trump out there, you could get Bush, and they
there you
could
go,
be
Jason Blum.
hunted.
We're coming up with ideas for you. Just steal them because apparently
Yeah, that'd be great. Or they could just be regular people, but they have to wear like a president's mask, kind of like Point Blank.
your Richard Nixon
Or no,
mask and
was it not Point Blank? What is it? What's the surfing one?
Point Break,
Yeah, it could be like that, where they wore like the
the
ex president's
presidents.
mask.
Or wasn't there a movie called Dead Presidents and they like actually did wear that mask or something too?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah,
I
it's the
don't know.
Hughes brothers. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
So, but
anyway,
anyways, my rating on this,
yep.
I'm gonna give it a 3. I was gonna give it a 2.5, but from discussing it, and now I have many questions. I wish they would do audio commentary. I'm gonna give it a 3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
So it went up because of our discussion, which is good. I know it wasn't,
it did.
you're still not, this is still not your favorite movie, but by any stretch of the imagination. I can't believe you like this less than Halloween Ends, but
When I
you know,
watched Halloween Ends, which it took me 2 nights because I got by the time I got to that one, it was like 1 in the morning.
yeah.
Halloween Ends is shot so well. That film looks beautiful, especially on Blu-ray. And it's got a great soundtrack by Carpenter. It's much better than Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills is just a fat, bloated mess of let's just throw all this shit into it, and it doesn't make sense. This at least has like I say, it's Christine. It has a beginning, middle, and end. Um, but as one person pointed out, because I did watch a couple reviews on it, um, what's her face? The little girl from the first movie that's then in all of these.
No.
Richards, Kylie Richards.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And she's like isn't she like a real housewife or something?
No, that's her sister.
I thought they
Oh,
both were.
oh, they both were. I have no idea. I know the sister was because I used to have a crush on her as a kid, and from Witch Mountain. But they point out in Halloween Ends that they bring back these characters from the other movies, and when they kill off Michael, and she's not one of them, which is weird. It's like, was she not available that night? Was she? Which was really strange. And
Right.
then then it's like, well, wait, if they're bringing back other people, where's Tommy? Like, did they all leave Haddonfield? But I'm blanking on her character's name, but Kylie Richards. But yeah, it was just kind of strange. So they
Kyle
even had
Richards,
them,
yeah, Kyle.
Kyle Richards. So they missed an opportunity there. But um, yeah, there. I love the way that Halloween Ends is shot. It's
So
so nice,
so
so
yes.
wide. Like everything is off to one side. It's so nice, and the rest of it's just empty space, which just looks beautiful.
So she was the Real Housewife of Beverly Hills. She was in that. She's still in that. I guess it's still going. I didn't even know people still watch that.
I didn't even know it was still a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 2023 is when it says it's still going. Um, then she was in Halloween, but interestingly enough, her sister was in Assault on Precinct 13.
Yes.
So I think that's really funny that
Yeah.
John Carpenter worked with both of them, and then they both were in the Housewives thing
Which
because they were both
sadly,
rich, I guess.
yeah,
Housewives.
they have money from that show, definitely.
Well,
I
I
mean,
don't
what
think. Yeah,
sadly, Carpenter said that if he did Assault on Precinct 13 today, he wouldn't have included her death, which is like one of the
yeah.
best scenes in the
And
entire
that
movie.
was the yeah that was the only reason to watch that movie. Honestly, it sounds terrible, but like there was it was so like out there and so something that like shocks audiences. And even to this day, if you did not know this was coming, you'd be like, holy fuck, which I didn't when I first watched it. Nobody told me about that scene, right? So I didn't know. And I bought it from like Scream Factory, watched it, and I was like, what
Oh
the
wow, so this was
fuck?
recently.
It was, yeah, somewhat recently. It was a couple years ago, maybe, or whatever.
See,
And
I saw when I was young. I saw like on Showtime or HBO, Cinemax, one of those.
you're old. I'm not.
I am old and
You're older.
wise, so you should listen to me when I say things.
Respect your elders.
That's
No.
right.
But yeah, I loved Assault on Precinct 13, the original. I own the remake. I've not seen it, the Ethan Hawke one. I don't I own it because I think I bought it before I bought the other one. And I just never watched it. It was like $5 at one of those Dollar Generals or whatever. So it's like
I'll buy the remake of Assault on Precinct 13 the same day I get the remake of The Fog.
I haven't seen the remake of the Fall
Oh
either,
my
and I don't
God,
know.
is it bad? It is bad. Like, what were they thinking? Bad.
Wasn't it a prequel or was the thing? The thing was a prequel,
The
right?
Thing was a prequel. That I do
Yeah.
love. That I actually did like.
But the Fog was a remake. God, why
Yeah.
even do a remake of such a great movie?
With all
It's
CGI. So where Carpenter used actual fog machines, now it's all CGI fog.
I was gonna watch it on Halloween, but I was already watching Halloween 3, and then I listened to some of the commentary for Halloween uh 1, which was like 25 years later, and it was the worst commentary I'd ever like I tried listening to. John Carpenter can't remember shit. And so he's just like sitting there going, I think I remember doing this and blah blah blah. And Jamie Lee Curtis is like, well, don't you remember blah blah blah? And I'm like, oh my God, you people are just driving me crazy on this thing. Like, this is why you can't have somebody do it like 25 years later because they can't remember what they were, they've done so many other movies, like they're not thinking about that. So, Jamie Lee Curtis had a really good memory though and stuff. So, but yeah, he apparently said that and so I'm wondering if the chick in Jaws 2 was up for the role of Laurie Strode, and he said it was her, but then Jamie Lee Curtis said no, it was the other chick that I guess was a daughter of somebody famous or something, or whatever. That was also anyway, you can listen to the commentary at some
Yeah,
point because
I don't
it's
now I
just
don't even know who you're talking about. So
yeah.
we're back to chick from Jaws 2. There's a lot of chicks in Jaws 2.
I don't know. He said the girl from Jaws too. I looked it up and I think it was one of the main girls, because
Well, the
he
one
said
that was
because they're
acting a lot is the one who was an angel.
yeah, so maybe that was it. I don't know.
So
Eh, no idea. Just know that that's what he said. And I said, "Oh my God, Jaws 2." Like, okay, so I looked it up and I didn't say who because he couldn't remember the name of the person. You know,
but he still does music really well.
he
So
does. He's
it's
amazing.
every once in a while it's a dud. Like Halloween Kills, I think was a dud.
I just want to see him do one more excellent movie. Just one more, please. Just give us something really, really
What
good. It doesn't have to be, please don't let it be something you've remade or something, the sequel to something. No Escape from Alcatraz or whatever, like I don't even know why I said Alcatraz, but like, you know, like
that's a Clint
nothing like
Eastwood
that.
movie.
That's already a movie. I'm just saying. Don't do like a remake or a sequel. to make something completely original that blows us away way more than the Ward. You know, I don't want the Ward to be his last.
No,
And
because I predicted that 10 minutes into the movie.
I know, don't
And
let
it
that be
stars
his
Amber
last
Heard.
movie.
So,
Like he's done so many great movies, and I feel like at the end of his career, he just stopped caring. You know,
well, I
he
think that's
just
literally what he did. It's just like nobody's watching my films. I just get criticized. Why am I doing this? I'm collecting checks from all these remakes,
yeah,
you know.
and it's
So,
sad. So
and
I
as I'm
mean,
sure he made a decent amount of cash from the, from the new Halloween movies. Plus, he
yeah,
does the music and he's listed as executive producer. So he's still making some good movies out there. So I do know that Ryan Murphy's Scream Queens does have Emma Roberts and Jamie Lee Curtis.
a different what is it? A different Scream Queens than the one that
Yeah.
James Gunn was on.
Yes. That one I
Um,
didn't care about, but the Scream Queens with Emma Roberts I
I didn't like it.
loved.
Honestly, I wasn't a big fan. I thought it was
Uh Season one was better than season two, but I loved Emma Roberts in it. She was so
I like
mean.
Jamie Lee Curtis in it too because I thought she was such a bitchy kind of character, but I just, is not Laurie Strode, and it was her back to horror. It was before she did Halloween 2018, so it was like, oh, it's nice. They got her back. But then I was just like, yeah, I don't like it. Not my
I
thing.
freaking loved it. I loved it.
I
Plus, it
get
has
it. Some
Carrie Fisher's daughters in it.
Jolie Fisher, or is that her sister?
That's her sister.
Okay, I don't even remember who her daughter is.
Her daughter is the one with the earmuffs in Scream Queens. She's
Um,
also in the Star Wars movies. She's more of a background person, but she's like in front of the camera, but she really doesn't have any dialogue. Like she'll say something from time to time, but
eh, I don't know.
I just,
I
I think she's
I
just
don't
there because
watch
she's
those
Carrie Fisher's
movies
daughter.
enough, like the new ones, to really care. You know, like like
Well,
if
they're
I,
good.
I don't know, Star Wars, Star Wars, like I don't know. I
I just want Scream Queen season three. I don't know why we did not get season three.
Well, because
That's
I
what I
don't I
want.
don't think it played very well. I don't think it did very well. At least audience wise. But we don't know because nobody ever tells us like how many viewers are watching. I don't even know how you can tell that period. But you can. So
Some do release numbers, but Disney does not.
we
Disney's
found that out.
notorious.
We found that out, yeah.
Yeah, that they won't release it because their stuff is so, or they lie. They said like Ahsoka was something like it was really like a high number, like 16 million people watched it around the world, which isn't even good. But they said that on its first episode, and then it was found out it was 1.2.
Mm.
So thanks for lying, Disney.
I don't even care. Like, well, if it like Ahsoka, I liked Star Wars Rebels, so I wanted to see them in live action. I watched maybe 4 episodes. I haven't finished it yet. I will finish it. I liked what's the other one? I want to finish Loki. I just want to see all these things. I don't give a fuck what people are saying and all this other trash crap, whatever. I'm just gonna watch it if I want to watch it. And by the way, people, I'm getting my Regal pass back. So I will be going to the theaters
Oh
again.
my God. Thank God. Now I can sleep at night.
Thank you. Yes. Well, I mean, I
Oh,
want to let all these people know so I can actually start reviewing the movies that are in the theaters that are new, for horror stuff. Like I'm not going to go see Exorcist Believer just because I'm just not paying for that. Like,
no, you shouldn't. I didn't pay for it.
yeah. But what is it? Um, I might go see. Like, there's got to be some. I want to see that Eli Roth Thanksgiving movie. You know, I know you probably have no interest in it, but
No, I'll see it because I love Grindhouse, and I thought it
right.
was a great fake trailer. But I have been reading some stuff that's just saying, too little, too late type of thing. So
Well, maybe.
I mean, and it is going up against Hunger Games, which I'm hoping bombs. I want
I'm hoping
everybody
that
should.
Thanksgiving kills, and
I'm hoping. I
And
mean, Halloween movies or horror movies in general have been making a lot of money lately.
I don't honestly, I've been hearing these like interviews with the director of the Hunger Games, and I just don't like him now. Like just the way he speaks and everything just makes me go, you know. But whatever. All right, everybody. I think we're done. I think we did our review. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I give it four
check
and a
out The
half movies.
Hunt.
I really enjoyed
See
it.
what you think.
It's on
Yeah.
Peacock. Don't take our things as word as
The
gospel.
gospel. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, take our word
I
as
mean, mine you
gospel
should.
if you hold it upside down,
Yeah.
but don't take it if you hold it upright, because we're wrong. Uh, how would you do that? That'd be TUTNUH. Tanu. That's how you say that name.
Into
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
mean, I've changed my mind on other movies like Halloween Ends. So I did watch
I think
not
I think I've convinced you for other movies too. Before.
From
I don't
time
know
to
which
time
one.
I will switch. I know I did one with I think it was one of the ones with Jack Hunter for Scream.
Hmm.
Where I changed my opinion a little bit. He changed his a little bit too. But yeah, as I'm sure there's stuff out there that you and I have done where I've changed my opinion a little bit. But
Yeah.
but
Did you
Halloween
think I would
Kills,
actually
I
like this
can't.
movie, or did you think I was gonna like be like you, like not enjoy it as much?
I know that you're not political, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of
That's why I
hard to
don't like.
decide.
Yeah, that's why I don't like. Like I know you watch like All the President's Men, and I watched it because I am political,
Right.
and alongside watching the movie, I watched documentaries about it,
Exactly.
and,
So you
and
know a lot more than I do about it,
yeah, I
and
even
stuff.
watched that movie with Liam Neeson where he plays Deep Throat,
Hmm.
and yeah, so it's which wasn't
That
bad.
sounds like a porn, but okay.
It does. Liam Neeson's Deep Throat. Um, but yeah, I
That's not a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. Just don't don't think Liam Neeson has a
don't go
board
look
out
it up.
there. Not as far as I know, you know.
Yeah,
Who knows what he
but
did before
but
he's the
I mean, as I'm sure conservatives and stuff. I don't know if they would like the Purge or not, because the Purge is clearly to the left,
right.
especially the last one, which is where they go out and they hunt Hispanics. So
Yeah.
and then the first Purge, it's the black community is hunting each other. So but it's all done from like a
One
left's
position, one
point of
side, yeah.
view. Yeah,
Yeah.
that the people that are creating the Purge are evil, and that they're the elites and they're the conservatives. So I don't really know how conservatives think of the Purge. I think that'd be interesting to
Yeah.
find out. I mean,
I mean, me personally, I just saw it as the original movie as a home invasion movie. And the second movie I enjoyed a lot more because it was out. And we've talked about this. I like movies that are, out everywhere. I don't like movies where I feel claustrophobic and I feel like it's in one house. Blumhouse's model is that way, and everything. Which is funny because like the hunt was everywhere, it wasn't just inside that mansion or something, and
but it
everything.
being outside, they could, it's I think it might have been. I should have checked to see where this was filmed.
I can
I
find
don't
out.
I don't. It may not be filmed where they say it was, but
I don't think it was
because
filmed in
it
Croatia. No.
no, um, but I like Prague or something where everything is shot. Prague or Canada, but I think them shooting it outside might have been a little bit easier because you're not having to rig everything. Of course, you got the elements to deal with, but
Yeah. I mean, most of it was outside, and the only thing you have a problem with is weather and stuff. You can't control weather issues.
yeah, because that picture you have up there, those are gray skies.
It's filmed in Louisiana.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. So
there
interesting.
we go.
There you go.
So,
So, well, thank you,
all right,
John, and thank you everybody who
thank you.
listened this far. So if you've listened to the whole thing, please, for the love of God, comment. I listened to the whole thing or something. Like, let us know because I'm always shocked if somebody actually like this is over 2 hours long. If somebody actually listened to us talk for this long, because I don't even do that for my own stuff. It's not because, yeah, it's just I just don't.
I'm
But
so egotistical. I listen to everything with me.
yeah, I guess I'm not like that. I'm just like
You put it on
it's
in the
not even like
background.
a, and well, it's not even like I'll listen to it for a while, but I just won't watch the whole thing, and
You have
stuff.
it like if you're cleaning, you put it on so that it becomes more like an audio thing.
Yeah, I think you're saying some people do that for your films or for your
That's
series.
our friend Donald Wills. He told me
Yeah,
he does that. That he
that's
plays
nice.
it while he's working. Yeah,
Yeah, so there you go.
yeah.
And
Takes up 2 hours of your workday. With certain things.
yeah, so
So
there you go. You have 2 hours that you can be listening to our stuff while you're working. So there you go.
yeah.
Well, everybody, join me. So John's gonna be joining me like every now and then. Maybe, it might end up being like once a month. I don't know. It seems to be that way. And I think, we should do more Blumhouse movies, It's kind of on a Blumhouse kick with the Paranormal Activity stuff too. And these are movies that don't have sequels, like The Hunt, hasn't got a sequel. I don't think it's going to,
Oh, I
sadly.
would love to destroy Fantasy Island. I'm sorry, Blumhouse's Fantasy Island. Don't want to get people confused.
Or
It was so awful.
next month is Christmas. So we could do
Is
a little
what?
Black Christmas, which I know
Oh,
you hate that movie.
I hate that movie, and I gave it 2 shots. I hate that movie.
Would
It's
you want to
another
destroy that one too?
yes, man hating movie. Yes, yes, I would like to.
All
I,
right.
I'm sorry, people. I don't need to know what a diva cup is. Ugh, come on.
Now look, I don't think it's gonna be your mind is not gonna be changed on the I don't think I could change your mind on that one because even
No,
I
it
am
shouldn't be
not a
called Black
huge fan of
Christmas.
it. I think the biggest problem is Jason Blum has talked about before how they try not to be political like in the beginning, like they don't try to be political first, and that movie was political first. Like that was absolutely made
Yeah,
to
just in
be.
case we do it, yeah, I won't say anything now about it. So yeah, I just hated it. So yeah,
So we'll talk about that. That'll be on close to Christmas time. We'll put that out next month. So get ready for that. Aside from that, everybody, thank you guys for checking this out. Join us join Horror Film Lovers on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook as Horror Film Lovers. I think one of them, I think it might be Instagram's Horror Film Lovers podcast. And join John's stuff. It'll be listed here, but John Ward at Dark Park Films, you know.
yep.
So check that out because he's got a bunch of reviews that he does. He also does pickup videos like we do here. Actually, we don't do pickup videos on this channel. I might have to start fixing that.
Yeah, the last couple I did was one with Donald Wills, where we talked about M. Night Shyamalan, and then I
I
did
think you
one
asked
with.
me if I wanted to do that one. I don't watch enough of his movies to.
I have to be honest. I'm glad you didn't because it was 2.5 hours.
So you would have made it 4.5 hours.
It would have been very long if there was a third person. Yeah, and then I did a. This is something that I thought of. Now I may do for people is Troy, who directed stuff like Party Night and Teacher
Mm,
Shortage and stuff.
Mrs.
He has a
Claus,
Mrs. Claus. He has a new film that he's trying to promote and do crowdfunding. And
right?
so we did a like a 30-minute video on why people should help crowdfund his movies. So I'm
Oh, that's
thinking of,
cool.
of yeah, of doing that now is instead of like a one filmmaker or anything like that is
Kind
if
of
somebody
promotion.
yeah, and put like the link down below and why should people give to your movie, and so
That's
that's what
sort
we
of why
discussed.
Anna Zayden and I created To Be Tuesday to just, I mean, we kind of we decided that we weren't going to be critical, that we were going to be more talking about why we enjoyed the movies and stuff, not negative contexts in the movies and stuff, and get people to go watch the movies on Tubi, you know, and stuff. Because like a lot of my friends have movies there on Tubi, and people should watch them, you know.
There you go. There you go.
Axmas 1 and 2.
Yes, thank you.
They are on Tubi. Go watch them.
They are.
For the holiday season, man. The holiday season is coming up. Perfect time to go watch
Yes.
Axmas 1 and 2. So thank you, John. You're awesome.
Thank you. So are you.
Always a pleasure to have you on the show. And I can't wait. If you haven't tuned into our mainstream Monday show that we run, it's a lot of fun. And we talked paranormal activity. So we've got paranormal activity for this month is going to be we've already recorded it, but it's 5 and 6, and then next month is 7 in Tokyo and the documentary
And the
stuff.
documentary. So three more to come.
So 3 more to go, and then and 2 of them are going to be in one episode. So I think, right? Or do you want to? I haven't discussed that with you, but I thought Tokyo and the documentary would be same episode, but if you would rather.
I mean, it can. Well, we'll talk about it. I mean,
Yeah.
it can be, but we'll watch Tokyo Nights first, and then let's figure
Decide,
it out.
yeah. All right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and let us know what you guys think. Until then, everybody, bye.
Bye.